Trey Hendrickson has requested a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals and he wants to move on and get paid. Before we get into this interesting video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. It does help out the channel a ton. And let's get into the video. Trey Hendrickson has requested a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals. He is wanting to move on and move past the Cincinnati Bengals. He had an incredible 2024 season. He was looking for a new contract, but obviously the Bengals have a bunch of guys that they need to pay. They paid T. Higgins, which we made a video on a couple of days ago. He got $26 million franchise tag for 1 year. A lot of people were upset by that, obviously. They have Joe Burrow, who's going to get top 5 quarterback money, which he deserves. And then Jamar Chase, who's probably going to get the biggest non-quarterback contract ever in NFL history. I mean, he's going to get paid even more than Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb and these guys that got paid in 2024. So there's going to be some big pigeonholes, and I feel like Trey Hendrickson was just a part of trying to save money to help build a good roster and sacrificing him a little bit to build it because he was going to ask for a lot of money. He has a ton of production. He was the NFL sack leader this year. And on a very bad defense, so he was kind of, if they didn't have him, who knows how bad they would have been. Now I'm just looking at Trey Hendrickson's production over the last couple years in his career. He had 17.5 sacks in 2024. Like I said, he was a sack leader. 30 years old. He had 2023, he had 17.5 sacks. 2022, which I think he was a little hurt this year, and he had 8 sacks. 2021 had 14 sacks. So he had a ton of production. 2022 or 2020, my fault. He had 13.5 sacks. So he had a lot of production throughout the past 4 years. So, you know, it's a tough guy to trade away. 77 sacks in total. So in his career. So, you know, he's a guy that brings a lot, and teams are going to be calling about him. If I was the Cincinnati Bengals, I for sure wouldn't give him up for anything cheap. I mean, I would ask for a lot back for him because I think he's an extremely valuable player to a football team. But, you know, besides that, where do I think Trey Hendrickson can go, or what teams will I predict him go to? I think the Raiders are going to be quite interested. I know they have Max Crosby. I know that, but having a guy on the opposite side and a playmaker, I think the Raiders should look at Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson as potential guys that can be on the other side of Max Crosby and just a deadly duo on defense. I know Pete Carroll's a defensive guy, so I think that would be cool with the Raiders. That one I don't think is really going to happen, but I put them on the list. The Chargers are another team. They're a team that cut Joey Bosa yesterday, so I expect him to potentially be in on a Myles Garrett or a Trey Hendrickson. I think it would be smart for them. They were obviously a great defense last year. Honestly, they're pretty exciting to watch. So I think the Chargers could move for him, and I think it would be very smart for them to pursue a trade like that. The Bears are another interesting team. I think the Bears could potentially make a move here. Defense wasn't bad, but I think if you added a premier pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson, I think he could potentially move and be really good there. I think he could have a lot of production. I think the Bears, I think you kind of need to move on from this rebuild era and start competing. You have Caleb Williams. You need to start building this roster a little bit better. I think adding a superstar edge rusher like Trey Hendrickson would be very smart for them. The Lions are a team I put on this list. I like the Lions fit. Obviously, you have Hutchinson, but obviously, you know, you could put him on the opposite side, kind of like what I was talking about the Raiders, and let him go crazy on that side. And then you have 2 dynamic edge rushers. I think the Lions, it would improve their defense, who wasn't very good in my opinion. Obviously, they had a lot of injuries, but, you know, in total, I don't think the Lions is some world breaker defense. So I think improving that side of the ball would be important for them. Commanders are a team that I think I would have as a number 1 landing spot. I think the Commanders could really use a guy like Trey Hendrickson. If I'm the Commanders this offseason, I'm going all in for a Super Bowl. I think you have the roster, the offense to do it. Get some more players like Trey Hendrickson, a superstar pass rusher. And I think we could be thinking of the Commanders as a Super Bowl contender and a very good team in 2026, 2025, 2026. So it could be a really exciting fit there. And I think I would have the Commanders as my number one team to watch out for, because I think they're going to be aggressive this offseason, in my opinion. But let me know where you guys think Trey Hendrickson could fit or go. I think there's a bunch of options. Obviously, those are just some of the teams I think of off the top of my head. But I think the Lions, I think the Bears, I think the Chargers would be my top three. The Raiders and Lions, I think it's a little bit more of a long shot. But those three teams, I think he will end up as one of those three teams. That's my prediction. But who knows? The NFL, they can get crazy. And the Bengals may not even end up trading him. We don't know. It's not a guaranteed thing for sure in this league. We've seen a lot of guys request trades, and then I think Brandon Ayuk did it literally in training camp. And, he ended up getting a contract extension. So this may be one of those things where he ends up getting his money by the Bengals, which I would be happy about, because I think they could use a guy like this because they have to improve their defense. But that'll do for me. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.